Okay, so we are working on, I'm thinking I should turn my light on. I wasn't going to, but I don't know. Does it make much of a difference? I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I'm working on this little bug-eyed creature right here. Um, Now we've got kind of an upside down heart nose going on right here. You see that like that? We got an upside down heart nose. Now, right here we've got, let's see here. We have got kind of a scallop thing going on here. Oh, this is the teeth. Oh, this is this is really interesting here. It's the mouth, actually. But the teeth are kind of, there's like a whole bunch of lines here like this. A whole bunch of lines. Like that. Okay, so we're going to take and go up here. And then down here by the nose. And I'm going to make this one a little bit darker like that. Oh my goodness, I do. Oh goodness. Well, I have a little part right here. There's wrinkles. I think I can add it in. Yeah, I can add it in. Little wrinkles under the eyes. And it's kind of like this part right here. We're just going to have to work with it. Oh, there's more wrinkles I want to add. See, that still works, which is good. Okay, so there's some teeth over and up like that. And then this is the teeth. So this is kind of a fun idea for teeth. If you want to do different teeth, they don't, I mean, if you want wonky, crazy teeth, just use your imagination to make the most wonkiest, craziest looking teeth that you can think of. Like this. Like that. Okay, so I've got a little bit more kind of the outside of the face kind of comes around like this. And then we have a bottom set of teeth too. So it's kind of the same premise. The bottom set of teeth is sort of V-shaped. They're sort of V-shaped. I want to get the V-shaped teeth in here too, so we'll do both. We'll do sort of the, up here we've got the U-shaped, and down here V-shaped teeth like this. And look at how quick and fast we get these teeth. Okay, so I'm going to align them just like this. Now, the ones I'm working on here are really quite a bit different from the image that I'm looking at, a lot different. So I'm just going to extend them on up here. But I'm going to kind of try and make them fit in here. Now what we do have is some tiny curves. They're tiny curves and lines right here. It's kind of just to add. This is what I'm seeing here. Little tiny curves, just tiny curves like this. And there's some lines between, you know, to indicate the dark spaces between the teeth like that. These up here have some tiny curves on them too, like this. Okay, and so I'm trying to match them here the best that I can, like that. We're matching the best that we can. Yeah, we sure are matching the best that we can here. So this is the teeth, and so I'm going to take and do a couple more rows down here of V shape, V-U shape, sort of like that. And that looks pretty good actually. These teeth are, let's see if I can't make them this one a little bit wider. That's what I'm going to do, is make this one a little bit wider. Because yeah, that works. And then I'm just filling in some space down here. The more gunkier they look, the better. And so it just kind of adds that little bit of highlights to show that we've got some really gunky looking teeth here. And the teeth, these are beasts, little beasts and frightening little monsters, and that's what they're supposed to be. Is gunky looking, the more gross looking, the better. Okay, so we've kind of got, let's add one more tooth in here, because the teeth, yeah, the teeth are kind of showing on the outside. Now they're very crooked. We're adding one more in here like that. We're going to add one more coming out on this side like that. So I sort of messed up a little bit. So I'm just adding another tooth because I want to show that the tooth is actually on the outside. That's what I'm working on there. The tooth is on the outside. Okay, and then there's sort of like right here, there's a little drip. Let's get the little drip in here. There's a drip right here. Okay, so now we've got a neck right here. The neck is kind of down like this, and the neck is over here like that. Now I do need to match up this part right here. Now okay, I'm going to go back up here in the eyes. I need to add these little lines up here in the eyes like this. Get these up here like that. The little hair on the eyeballs. We've got a little bit this direction. Now we're going to go this direction. We've got, there's something that looks like that. We do have a lot of, let's see if I can get it in here. Okay, first I'm going to add just some lines in this direction, like this on the eyeball. Okay, so we're just adding some lines like this on the eyeball. And now we're going to add in, well, kind of like bloodshot eyes is what we've got. Really just creepy, 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 creepy eyes here. Okay, so what I'm seeing up close here is it almost looks like little hairs right here. And we've got little hair looking things like hair follicles. Now I'm going to just lightly color, lightly, ever so lightly color like this in the nose. So it does look like an upside down heart. Oh yeah, we've got a lot of this part, this works. You know, the line. So if you want to make, okay, I'm going to show you. So we just kind of scribble like this, and that's basically all we're doing. If you want to add another, let me show you up close here. You see that, how we're scribbling up close? So we've got these lines here. There's the eye. See how it makes the eye look rounded instead of flat? That's funny on screen. On camera, it really does make it adds and makes it look really, really rounded. And so then this, we add the scribbles in here like this, and it just adds little shadows and highlights. And it just makes it pop out really, really good. And that's kind of what I've got on the teeth there too. They almost look hairy a little bit. So I can go like this. The teeth almost look like they have hair on them a little bit. So we can just, the more messy it is, actually, the better the drawing is. That's one thing I've learned. Yeah, the more messy it is, the better the drawing is. And so we're going to take and add, I hope this looks like a vein. We're going to add something that looks like a vein popping out of his neck. That's kind of what we got going on right here. Like that. And so I'm just going to kind of gunk it up a little bit down this direction. Okay, so now let's add, but this is kind of the Zentangling thing we got going on now. So we're going to take and I'm going to do, I'm going to split it open like that, but I'm going to do half. So with some of the Zentangles, if you want to have a highlight in your drawings, you leave the center part open. So it leaves it kind of highlighted through the center like that. So we're adding something that kind of looks like another vein, sort of. And so I'm trying to get them to, they don't have to match up perfect, but it adds this little element of curvature. And okay, so let's add a tiny bit more. Oh, that one's nice. That one turned out really, really nice here. So let's connect it on up here like this. This one turned out really good. Oh, that's really good. Now look at how fast. How long have I been on here? 15 minutes. Look at the monster we got here now. Just that fast we have a monster. Bug-eyed monster. Just that fast. And so I'm going to add a little bit more hairy looking kind of stuff like that. I kind of like the hairy, the little tiny hairy line things we got going on here. And we can just do a little back and forth. We don't have to do it on all of them if we don't want to, but that's just what I'm doing right now, is a little bit. And so if I want, okay, so what I want to do is just add some quick lines like this around. So I'm going around in this direction like this. And okay, so I'm going to add some of these I'm going to make a little bit thicker. Okay. I like this one. Okay, so let's add one more in here. I'm not sure how big I'm going to make it. Let's make it about this size. We just need to add one more in here. It is getting a little bit smaller as we go down. It's kind of blending in, you know, sort of behind these other ones, but it really sets it off. I like this. I mean, this is a really cool technique. That's a really cool technique. Hello, hello. I have one person chatting. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness sakes. Hang on a second. Let's see here. I'm gonna go over here. Okay. Bunny. Hello, Bunny. Yes, I'm here. I know a lot of people will do that to make sure that I am live and not pre-recorded. I don't have the ability to pre-record and upload things. I did briefly. I did briefly. How many years ago has this been? I'm going to say 2011. I figured out how to do it myself. And you know what? Google immediately took that away from me when I figured out how to do it myself. Now, it wasn't something that I could do, that I wanted to do actually, because I would have had to leave my computer running all the time with the live stream. Now, I think what I did was maybe 2 hours, possibly 1 hour or 2 hours. And so I sat there and I used their desktop software that they gave us. And I put a video inside of it, and then I just let it run. And that's how I know that these studios and networks are doing that, because they have the equipment to be able to do that. So they have the setup. I don't know how, but they just have the setup to let that stuff pre-record and run all the time. So on their cable TV platforms, like on, oh my gosh, I think it's Pluto TV, they have the ability to just let their stuff run all the time. And I think they've been doing it, I'm pretty positive they've been doing it on the internet too, on YouTube. And it's like, well, I don't know how, I mean, that creates trends right there in and of itself. And so let's go back over here to this image that we're doing. I almost think that I want to leave it just like this. I'm going to take this and expand. I'm going to expand it down like that. And okay, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to see, let's see what happens. I want to kind of do the same thing. I was going to put, it looks like it sort of has a shirt on it, but I don't really want to add the shirt to it. I just want to keep doing this because these lines are sort of cool like this. They look like veins, and we're zentangling and doodling. That's what we're doing. Now see, I like that for a neck. That's really cool. That's a really cool neck, and we don't have to do anything at all fancy. Absolutely nothing at all fancy. We just take these lines. And so if you just want to learn one technique today, this is the one I'm kind of having fun with right now, is these lines like this. So we have a split line here. Let's look at it up close. Okay, so we have this split line here that shows highlighting in here. Even in between we have highlighting. These are solid. This one's a little bit more feathery, it looks like, but then I've drawn a little bit extra ink. I apply I'm going to leave some of the light parts in here. But I do want to distinguish a dark line here. And the reason being is to show shadow. It adds more to the contrast of the curve related to what I'm making here, curving out. It adds sort of a more of a little creep factor to it too. Well, I'm not sure that I want to call it a complete creep factor because it adds a shadow. It just adds curves. So when we look at it like that, it's curvy. So I'm wondering, you know what? I need to go on the outside of my, I'm going to go out here and see if I'm getting comments that have been ghosted. I could be. Let's see. Let me see. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like it yet. It doesn't look like it yet. So, okay, so I know yesterday I had comments that were coming up that were ghosted actually on my YouTube channel, and I'm not sure why, but they were ghosted. And I know I didn't do anything to them, but for some reason they just plain weren't showing up at all. So the only thing I can conclude with that is maybe there was some spam policy violations that they were doing their own self as channels. That's the only thing I could think possibly is maybe there was some bad practices, because usually that happens and then people get mad at the wrong person. They get mad at YouTube for because they're doing something wrong, you know. Now let's see, let's go over here and look at, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I was thinking about adding a little bit more in here. Like this. Yeah, just adding a little bit more in here like this. And we can add, I'm just making lines now, kind of like just little squiggly lines with slight curves, you know, just a line and then going in the opposite direction. So I'm just kind of crossing over. So do you see there with the little tiny lines that I made? They look sort of feathery. Maybe I should do that with the teeth and add a little bit of feathery. That'll make them look pretty good. We'll add this with the teeth in here like this and add just a little bit more. That looks, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so now I need to find another one. I'm going to find another one to draw. Okay, let me see. I kind of want to draw the donkey. I sort of want to draw the donkey. Should I draw? Yeah, donkeys are fun. Okay, we're going to set you aside. We're going to set you aside up here. Let's set you over here. He looks really cool, though. Actually, what I should do is draw something where, and then like, it would be kind of fun to just take these lines and like maybe make a ball or something. So I can take it apart or put it together, and so then I would have two separate things. That could be kind of fun, actually. Or if I do it like this direction, I don't know. Now I got myself thinking. Oh, the glue came off that one. Good. This is going to be a good one because the glue came off. Okay, let's draw the donkey. Okay, so we're going to... Do we want to draw a donkey? Anyone have any suggestions of what we should draw? Let's draw... Let me look over here and see what we got. This one was kind of cute too. This one was really creepy looking. There, I mean, I just have so many ideas of things that I can. Oh, that one is really cool too. Let's see here. Another mushroom head. Oh, that one's sort of cool. Let's see if we can do this one. Oh, this one will be fun. Okay, let me see if I can do this one. Okay, yeah, this one should be this one is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if we can pull this off, but we're going to give it a go and see if we can get it to work. Open image in new tab. Yeah, okay, so I might be able to do this. We're going to give it a shot here. We're going to, okay, so, okay, I'm going to start off with an ear right here like this. And down like that. And then okay, so we've got the basic outline of this one done. And so I'm going to color this part in just a little bit like that. So we've got kind of the basics of this one done. Okay, so now what I've got is, okay, let's go over here. We're going to draw a line up like that, curved around like this, and then go in this direction. Then we'll go back up there, and there's more lines that kind of connect. And we're going to draw something kind of similar. And I'm going to put I want the nose to be a little bit more rounded. Okay, so we've got an eye this direction. So I want them standing out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, we're going to draw this and over, up and over, down and up, down and up, and then we're going to take it in there. Now we've got kind of this big circle-ish kind of thing that goes around like this. Sometimes they kind of open up and then they go down. Okay, so we want to keep this eye in here like that. Let's make it a little bit darker. I want to make this one darker too, even though I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see it when it's completely done. Okay, so we've got a bunch of entanglements. Now, yesterday someone was talking about, they were talking about quantum entanglements. And so if you think of an entanglement, a quantum entanglement, I believe how they were trying to explain it was, things that are entangled together, created for reasons of connections and things. And so someone was trying to explain it, and the other person they just were not interested in at all in hearing about quantum entanglements. Okay, so this one, okay, what I'm going to do, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to give it a try here. I'm going to draw a couple of spots that are open like this. They're supposed to be highlights, but I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm going to give it a go here and see if it works. I'm just going to give it a try. Now I want to kind of color these other parts in like this. Yeah, it looks like it might be working a little bit. So this one has a lot of shading and colorations on it like that. And so up front here we've got sort of a little beard here like this. A little beard sort of. And so I would sort of call this a quantum entanglement. Kind of. We've got these little entangled hairs and lines that go around with each other. This almost looks like its mouth, even though it's not. Let's see, what do I need to do? I kind of want to leave the eye, well, part of the eye open, but at the same time we've got these little lines. Okay, let's see if we can't okay. So the parts that I don't color in on this side are going to be the highlights. So I'm still trying to figure out, I want the eye to be open so we can see it. So I'm just creating the eye on this one a little bit different from what the image has. Just a tiny bit different. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of start coloring in a little bit like this. Just ever so slightly. I don't want to color in too hard just yet. But I think I've got enough here to get the idea of what I want. Just coloring it in ever so slightly. Oh, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to maybe do a little bit of cross hatching here like this. Cross hatching. Okay, so I'm going to draw another little line in here like this, and I want to kind of do the same thing. This side is going to be darker, so we have kind of split colors here. That's what we're working with, is sort of split colors of, oh, it shows up. Sometimes when I see it on camera, it shows up a little bit better than when I see what I'm working on right in front of my face, which is kind of funny. That's why it makes it sort of fun to have the camera right here with us and be able to look at it in real time and, you know, see some things that I might be missing in the drawing, and see something or a way to add more to it to accentuate it a little bit more. Now right here I'm just going to take and add. Now see, yeah, that does show up. So I can make the lines darker here, even though I have not completely committed to a dark blue. So when I say I've not committed to a dark blue, do you see the line there? So I can make it darker. I've not completely committed to that yet. And so I'm just going to do a little bit right here like this. I want to distinguish these lines. And this is why I think I'm not going to commit to dark, 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 dark. Because I want them to be able to stand out. So I'm going to accentuate these lines with shadows like this. But in the center part, I'm not going to commit to the complete dark blue. I'm just going to use some shadows and highlights, and I'm going to do the same thing right here. A little bit of shadows and highlights. And so I'm going to make this just like that. And so, let's see, the eye, yep, that's the, which direction did we go with the eye? Okay, eye, we're going to make you stand out. We want you to stand out. So it's sort of a sideways V shape. The eye is pretty good. I like the eye. And okay, so I need some more lines through here. Like this. And I'm going to add the more lines with this one, look, kind of making it fluffy and full. I like this. This one I like. Okay, so I'm going to do an let's see, how far back do I want to take this? Okay, so let's make you guys a little bit darker right here. And we're going to start kind of shading in, just ever so slightly shading in. A little bit like this, shading in, just shading and shading. Shading in a little bit like that. There, we got that. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to take some more lines like this, and we're going to commit these to the darker. These are going to be committed to darker right there. So you see how that works? We just committed that line. And so on this side, we've got a kind of a mix. So I'm going to take this line out and pull it around like that. And we're going to commit this one to a little bit darker too. So this is what makes it pop out. This is what makes it so much fun. And to pop out is because we are quantum entangling the two creatures here together. Yeah, I think it really expresses what a quantum entanglement is. But let's ask ChatGPT. I'm going to sit here and draw. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to describe to me what quantum entanglement is. But first, what I'm going to have to do is, well, I'm going to ask ChatGPT and then I'll just read it. What is quantum 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 entanglement. What is quantum entanglement? It says is what happens when two particles decide to share a single secret heartbeat. Oh, interesting. You know what that is? Quantum entanglement, the same heartbeat. Two particles decide to share a single secret heartbeat. Quantum entanglement could also be a mother giving birth to her, gestating her baby. Let's call it gestating her baby because of the fact that the baby relies on mother for a long time. So they both share the same heartbeat for a long time before the baby is sustainable. So in contrast with human life, we do have a quantum entanglement related to gestation, a gestation period. So we can make that analogy with quantum entanglements. And I am going there with that one. That's a fun one. So there are some guys who didn't want to hear about this yesterday. I thought it was a fun topic to talk about because I like to use in contrast of things related to real life with the computer and even the Bible. So let's see what this says. The core idea in quantum physics, tiny particles like electrons or photons can become linked so that their properties are connected. Not similar, not coordinated, actually connected. So if you measure one particle and find, for example, its spin is up and the other particle's spin will instantly be down. That describes the Earth, the planet Earth. Part of the spin is up while the other part of the spin is down all the time. And this holds true no matter how far apart they are. The strange link was famously called spooky action at the distance by Albert Einstein. He didn't like it. It felt like physics was breaking its own speed limit. In simple anatomy, almost but not quite, imagine you create two magical coins that are guaranteed to land opposite each other. You give one to a friend in another country. When you flip yours and it lands heads at the exact moment, theirs is tails. But here's the twist. Before you flip it, neither coin is strictly heads or tails. It exists in a blur of possibility. Only when one is measured does reality choose. That's the mind bender. I want to apply quantum entanglement to a mother giving birth and even the planet Earth giving birth to life. Those are quantum entanglements that make sense to me. Maybe they don't to other people, but I like that thought, the school of thought. Entanglement is not science fiction decoration. It's real, measurable, and tested. It underpins quantum computing, quantum cryptography, quantum teleportation, well, see, the quantum teleportation literally is real. We have that through telephones. We have that through Wi-Fi, the computers. That's how I measure it, because now how you take the particles apart and put them back together in pictures, that's the craziest part in cryptography. That's what I think of cryptography and teleportation in that sense. We can't do that with humans, but we really can with information. The phenomenon was experimentally tested through work inspired by John Bell, whose theorem showed that entanglement cannot be explained by simple hidden instructions carried by particles. Later experiments confirmed it. Okay, so let me look up here. I think we've got more comments here. But hello, I am drawing, this is a wolf. This is actually what I'm kind of calling this one is a quantum entanglement of a wolf. That's kind of the inspiration. Who's sending emojis with me? Yeah, who is sending emojis? I don't know. And so we're working on this little quantum entanglement here of a wolf. We've got two of them. And I just thought, when I think of tangle, I think of doodles and tangles. And so, but this one is a wolf. And I know I've had someone who comments from time to time, named Lone Wolf. And so they'll they'll eventually see it at a later time, probably. It just kind of reminded me of Lone Wolf. Sometimes I feel like that myself, that I'm a lone wolf and out there on a limb with some things, which I shouldn't be, you know. And the funny part is, it's like I'm just still me, who I've always been, and I were never anticipated myself as a troublemaker of anything until someone else decides, oh, yes, they're a troublemaker. It's like, no, you got it all wrong. You have got it completely all wrong. You want me to be that way for some reason, to make yourself feel better. Um, but go ahead and you make yourself feel better. You're still wrong. You know, so those who are doing that are completely wrong. And so we are working on quantum entanglements related to this little wolf creature here that we're working on. We're going to take a little bit through here and take the lines back down here like this. I think maybe I'll call it the quantum entanglement wolf. You know, because the tangles, the hair tangles up. We could refer to that as a quantum entanglement. You know, because just specifically because of the fact that it's on the computer. Let's go over here and read more about the quantum entanglement and the theory and how this is written, though. It does not allow faster than light communication. It does not mean particles send messages. It does not violate relativity. Instead, it suggests that reality at small scales is fundamentally non-local. The universe does not always respect our intuitive boundaries. That's true. I believe that. The universe does not always respect our intuitive boundaries. If the classical world is like marbles in boxes, the quantum world is like music. Separate notes can still belong to the same chord. If you want, I can explain how this ties into quantum computing or how it connects to some of your more philosophical big picture questions. How about you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, okay, explain more. Let's do this. EXPLAIN, more on the SOPHI's philosophical big picture questions. Okay, so we're going to have it explain more on the big picture questions. So let's let that populate. I'm going to go back over here and work a little bit more. We're going to fill this one in a little bit, maybe about halfway with this one. We're going to take this one about halfway, like that, maybe halfway down here. Now I want to make this one a little bit darker and stand out though in here. So I'm going to make the edges darker with this one, how I'm doing it. Just make the edges darker, scribbling like this. Oh, I like that. See, the darker I make the edges, the more I like it. Okay, so we do kind of have a mouth here. This one, sort of like that. We could utilize this one here as kind of a mouth too. So they have sort of a mouth going in this similar direction. That looks pretty good. See, that's something I would get a tattoo of. I like this. I like this one a lot. I would do a tattoo of this. Let's see. If I did a tattoo right here on my arm of this. Yeah, it looks like a wolf. I like that. Actually, I think I would want it down this direction maybe, though, if I was going to do a tattoo. Okay, let's make this one a little bit darker like that. Okay, let's go over here and hello IDK KK098. Okay, so is the universe fundamentally separate or unified? Classically, reality looks like a collection of independent objects, you, me, a chair, a star. Entanglement suggests something subtler. At a deep level, parts of the universe can't always be described independently. Two particles can share one combined state, even when separated by miles. That hints that separateness might be a surface illusion. Some physicists, like David Bohm, proposed that what we see as separate things are projections from a deeper, interconnected, implicate order. Think cosmic origami folded in ways we don't fully perceive. It nudges the question, are we individuals inside a universe or local expressions of a single entangled world? That could be the thing of, when we look at a wolf, they kind of look the same, so what is reality before we look? In quantum mechanics, particles don't have definite properties until measured. They exist as probabilities. This deeply bothered Albert Einstein, who believed the moon exists whether we look at it. That's true, it does. It's kind of like the sun exists at night, even though we can't see it. That goes to that saying of, when a tree falls in the forest, do you hear the sound? Well, no, we may not be able to hear the sound, but the tree still fell. But experiments inspired by John Bell show that quantum particles don't behave as if they carry pre-written instruction cards. So the philosophical bombshell becomes, is reality deterministic or hidden? Deterministic? Deterministic, that must be the word. Created in an act of measurement or branching into many outcomes. This leads to interpretations like Copenhagen interpretation, many worlds interpretation, relational quantum mechanics. Each one reshapes the real means. Does entanglement change our whole idea of causality, it looks like casuality, but it must be pronounced casuality. Normally, causes precede effects and signals travel through space. Entanglement correlations appear instant, yet they do not transmit usable information faster than light. Relativity stays intact. Still, something odd remains. The universe coordinates outcomes across distance without sending messages. That's true, it does. It suggests that space may not be as fundamental as we think. Some modern physicists speculate that space itself may emerge from entanglement. Instead of objects existing in space, space might arise from relationships between quantum states. That flips the architecture of reality inside out. What about consciousness? Careful here. Quantum physics does not prove mystical claims, but it does raise questions. Measurement plays a key role in quantum outcomes. Some early thinkers speculated that consciousness collapses the wave function. Most physicists today do not require consciousness in math. Still, well, that is true when you think about it with math. You don't need consciousness to create math. So my thought with this is the planet Earth is always spinning. It's creating math in revolutions. So you don't need consciousness to count how many times the Earth might spin in a day. It just does it. Still, the philosophical spark lingers. Why does observation matter at all? Is observer just interaction, or is it awareness woven more deeply into the fabric? This is where physics hands the baton to philosophy and quietly steps away. The big picture tension. Entanglement tells us the world is not locally separable. Reality may not have definite properties before interactions. Space might not be fundamental. Determinism is not guaranteed, and yet the macroscopic world behaves orderly. Causality appears intact. Classical logic mostly works. It's like discovering that beneath solid stone lies a sea of probability foam. If you zoom out far enough, entanglement suggests something radical. Oh, the sea, it's like discovering that beneath a solid stone lies a sea of probability foam, which that is the bubbles that come up from the earth. No matter where you're at, I've seen that all over the place. So that's kind of fascinating. Maybe I'm going to focus on this a little bit later on. It's like discovering that beneath a solid stone lies a sea of probability foam. So you have a stone, and then you lift it up, and it's possible, the probability is there that foam and oxygen is going to be released from beneath that rock. If you zoom out far enough, entanglement suggests something radical. The universe may not be a collection of things, it may be a web of relationships. Not nouns, verbs, not objects, interactions. And that changes how we think about identity, agency, even meaning. If you want, we can explore how this interacts with ideas about free will, simulation theory, theology, or entanglement hints of something like a cosmic information structure. I'm going to look for another image to draw. I want to draw another image. So I think this looks like two wolves, doesn't it? I like this. This would be a cool gold necklace too. I think this would be a really cool gold necklace. Let's do a little bit more in here like that. Make the lines. This is kind of like embossing, sort of. Make them a little bit darker. That would make a really cool gold necklace. Or t-shirt. Oh my gosh, a t-shirt. There's so many different things with this one. And then you could even take and put like numbers in the middle of it. You know, if you wanted to do like a blank spot, a square or a shape or something, and then put numbers in, you know, it's just, it would be your idea how you want to do it. It's up to you if you wanted to add additional things to it. Now we've got these two creatures. I want to do one more. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So we're going to sit here and look at this thing right here. And let's put these two together and see what we get. Do we get anything that looks they are kind of similar in, okay, so if I break them apart like that, well, not really breaking, but well, I could cut this part off, and I'm just trying to figure out how to entangle the two of these without ruining my whole drawing by cutting them in half. I can cut them in half. See, this is why I like doing it like this. I could fold them. Do I want to fold them though? See, once I fold them and I'm committed to that line down the center, then I end up with another line that I may not want. And that's why I don't want to fold them. But, okay, let me look for another image. Oh, goodness. Let's see. What do we want to draw? Oh, that one's kind of interesting. Let's see. What do we want to draw? Oh, goodness sakes. Maybe we should draw this fish. Let's draw a fish of some sort. Now, if you're going to do that, if we're going to get a pop-up ad, I don't think that I want to. Okay, fish. Let's see if we can open image and new tab. Yeah, okay. So we might be able to work on this one. We might be able to do this one. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can. This one looks this one looks challenging, but we're going to be doing more more of the lines. This one looks quite a bit more challenging, but let's see if I can pull this one off. We'll give it a go here. I hope I don't mess it up too bad. But let's start off with kind of a line like this. Now we are working on a fish. Keep that in mind. This is a fish. Okay, I'm going to start off here like this. And then I'm going to go around like this. Oh goodness. Did I already mess up? I hope not. I didn't leave myself a whole lot of room. That's one of the problems here. Okay, look. Okay, I hope that I could give myself a bigger piece of paper, but I don't want to. There's a purpose why I don't give myself a bigger piece of paper, because it becomes a challenge to do this on a smaller piece of paper. So I need to challenge myself to fit all of this into a smaller piece of paper here. And so I've got these little nostrils right here. It becomes, that's a challenge that I do to myself all the time. Is I found it to be kind of fun. And now, had I not been in this position I've been in the past several years, I would not have done that. But out of the blue, I just started challenging myself. It's like, well, gosh, I don't have a lot. I really don't have a lot. Now, if I was a kid or my kids were little with me, these are things I'd be thinking of now and giving them ideas of things to do. And the funny thing is that when I had the means, my son one of my sons just really wasn't interested in drawing, coloring and things like that. He would color a little bit, he'd scribble, he'd break a few crayons. That made him happy. That kind of made him happy, breaking the crayons and coloring in places he wasn't supposed to be coloring. But, that's the things he liked doing. He just liked doing that. And so, um, okay, so I'm gonna draw a kind of a line like this through here, showing connecting these like that. I don't want to go all the way through. Um, so, okay, let's see if we can make this kind of look a little bit like it's something. Okay. Let's, so we're trying to make a fin here, but the whole fin is not going to fit on our paper here. But we're going to get the idea of the fin. So the whole thing doesn't fit. The whole thing does not fit, but we're going to do the best that we can. So it's, it's just kind of like when you cut part of something out, sometimes when you're taking a picture of something. So we've got part of it right here. Okay, so we've got, let's see, let's go this direction like this. You know what, that would be a good trend. It all wouldn't fit. And now after I say that, I think, oh my goodness, I don't even want to go for this, it works. It all didn't fit. It all would not fit. But I just feel like we need to not say this to certain individuals because we already know the direction that they take things. And so we need to keep, if we were to do a trend of it all wouldn't fit, it's actually, that would be really popular, I think. It all wouldn't fit because I know one time when I was moving, when I was a military spouse, we were told that and I was doing a self move too, and everything wouldn't fit in the trailer. And so I had to leave some things behind because it just all wouldn't fit. There wasn't enough room for everything. So, um, okay, so let's color this one in dark while we're thinking about it. Let's color that one in dark. I don't know how dark we're going to make it. We're just going to scribble for right now. Okay, so, we got our little nostrils right here. We're going to color them in. Well, we're not going to make them real dark. Okay, so now we're going to go from right around here and then around like this. And then we're going to go over here and around like that. We've got two little lines right there. So we've got our janky teeth again. Some of them are sort of diamond shaped. And we've got all these little lines here. How far do we have up to go? So this one's really long. This is a really long tooth right there. Really long, sharp tooth. This one's not quite as long, but it's still kind of a long, sharp tooth. Okay, so down here, have you guys ever wondered, this is something that, on the cruise ships, they're always telling people that they have an apartment to go to when they get off the cruise ship. Now, why would you be and then they say they have a contract with the cruise company for like sometimes 6 months, 9 months. They have different contracts. And so they've literally, when I was cruising, they literally told us that they had, an apartment waiting for them when they got off the cruise. And it's like, well, that's a lot of money to pay to just keep paying for an apartment while you're on the cruise ship. That's what I was kind of thinking. Um, but that's just, I mean, they must either pay them well, or there's some kind of lie or something going on that they're not completely. I remember this guy Calvin. He was on the cruise ship, and Calvin said he was done with his contract, and he said he was going to be going back to, I believe it was Washington State, and that's where he was. He said he was going with his apartment. Now, they didn't keep the cruise directors. Usually the cruise directors were different people. They were never the same ones. They had different ones all the time. So I was thinking they were going to have the same ones, and that they did a career, because John Heald, he said they keep referring to him as the oldest cruise director. Well, he does a blog series. That's what he does, is a blog series. So they call him the oldest cruise director. So it sounds like maybe he was at one time. And so I don't know if they keep them on the ship forever. That's what it sounds like. They say some of them retire, and then they just have them living on the ship, it sounds like. They're just living on the ship. Now, I don't know, once they go out of business, I don't know where they're going to have them living at, because they get paid so little. Especially the ones who are Americans, they get paid so little, I don't know where they're going to live, because they've committed their life to living on the cruise ship. And there are a lot of United States citizens who have been working on the cruise ship. Some of them are even Homeland Security. That's my understanding. Homeland Security is working on the cruise ships. I don't know how they intervene on the cruise ships, or if they can, like police. I don't know if they can do that or not, but it's my understanding there is a sort of security on the ships. And I just remember one time I went on one of the ships, and I left feedback, and I said, well, I'm curious about who the security is. And so I'm sitting there on the ship on the Lido deck one day, and this short little Asian guy comes out, and he has on a shirt that says security on it. And there was a whole bunch of them, because I wrote something on their blog. Oh, they always asked us for feedback too. They said, well, what do you want to see? So I put, well, who's the security and the police? I asked them, it's like, where is the brink? The brink. We always hear about the brink, and they were always talking about the clink and the brink, and throwing people who were really, really bad into the ship's jail. They were talking about that all the time. That they put people in the ship's jail, and they said they do have a jail. They said typically most people are not bad, but they said they do have to use it from time to time, because sometimes people are that bad, and they end up with really bad people on the ship from time to time. So they said, so, it's just one of those things. So, okay, let's see if we can't. But I was just, those are things these are things that I just kind of wonder about. It's like, well, we're made aware that they don't actually and literally have a place to live. The United States people who are working on the ships. And I remember there was a guy who looked like Mark Kelly. He looked exactly like Mark Kelly. I thought for sure it was him when I saw him. I swear it was Mark Kelly. But I noticed last night he's, well, like all of the rest of us. I watched the State of the Union last night. I thought it was interesting. That's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to say anything else. But what I did notice, a lot of those politicians, they look way older, I think, than what they really are. A lot of them looked way older. We need to take you guys down further like this. I need to make my ribs longer. I need to take you guys down there like that. Now we're gonna color in between here. Even, I thought Amy Coney Barrett looked really, really old. She looks more like she's in her 60s than the age they said she is. And Justice John Roberts, he looks like he's about 80. So I don't think they're telling the truth really about how old they are. They look really, really old. Okay, so let me add a few more spines coming out of the top here. We'll add more spines up here. That's what we're going to do. Just add more spines. So, okay, so what part? Okay, so let's color some of this in a little bit like this. So I'm just going to lightly color. I'm not going to color too dark. So let's see. Does that look like a fish? I don't know. But you know, it looks like something. And that's all I need is for it to look like something. Yeah, it does look like fish skeletons. I have to say. Let's make these lines darker. That's what we're going to do, is make the lines darker. Just like that. I'm going to do a little bit of, oh, I like that. The cross hatching. I like that. Yeah, now we're going to do cross hatching. Just ever so slightly. I think maybe I'm going to do that in between these ones like that. Do some cross hatching. Okay, now what else? What other parts do we want to do? Let me look over here. Do we have more comments? Oh, goodness sakes. I don't know, I feel sleepy. Shouldn't feel sleepy. But I do. Some days I just do. I feel sleepy during the day because I stayed up too late at night. Okay, so let me go back here to look at my fish. Okay, fish, where are you, fish? Fish! There you are. Okay. Now, I think what I need to do, yes, this is what I need to do, is add more. I need to make these lines darker, like this. Just make them darker like that. So we have more fins. That's what we're going to do, like that. Okay, that works out pretty good. I like that. That looks quite a lot better. And so we're lightly adding just a little bit in between. It's kind of just to show the bones. You know how bones of fish just look really bony? And so we're making this scary looking creature here. Oh, I know what I need to add on here. Kind of like little lines around the outside like this to add, just to add more lines. It gives it that creepo factor. Creepo. We're looking for the creep factor, the stinky creep factor of the fish. So the lines always work out when we do little bits of lines and wrinkles and things. See how it just makes it look worse? And that's what we're looking for, is it looking worse. Now, I'm just going to add, I want to show that this is dark in here, but I don't want to make it too dark. I just want to keep it to be a lighter dark, so just with some shading. And so I'm adding curvature, following along like inside of the mouth, curvature like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do some cross hatching. Okay, let's make you guys a little bit darker. Make the teeth. Let's make them. Yeah, I can see. I can add on the teeth here and make them darker and longer. If I didn't get them long enough the first time, I can just make them a little bit longer like that. Just add to the teeth like that. Add some curvature in the mouth like this. See, look at what we got there. Oh my goodness, look at what we got here. Now that is looking a lot better now. Oh my goodness, that actually looks kind of more like the picture now. So yeah, if I get too impatient with myself, and that's probably what I was doing, getting a little bit too impatient here with myself and thinking this was supposed to be looking like more of something than what I had actually looking like at the time. Oh, see how the lines, for me, the lines kind of help set it off. Now let's darken this part up a little bit around here like that. Oh, I like that. I like it a lot better now. Okay. Let's add one more long sharp tooth on here. And I think then that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's do a little recap here on what we worked on. We've got a frightening monster fish, this little frightening monster creature here, and then these wolves. They're not, well, these two look like, this one looks like a beast, a beast fish right there. That one does. And this one looks like a beast. I mean, actually, all of them are beasts of sorts when we look at them. They are beasts. Ink pen sketching type beasts. Wild beast, wildebeest, that's probably where it comes from. When we think of it, oh my goodness sakes. Oh goodness. I think that looks pretty good. This is what we've got as all our little beasts here that were our little pen sketch beasts and drawings that we are working on. Okay, what happened here? Okay, let's see how this one looks on camera. That looks pretty good. Okay, so think that's about it for right now. And I think that we're going to call this a video. Let's look at them. We'll do that one for a few seconds. And then we will look at this one for a few seconds just to top it off at the end here. Oh, we should put it this direction, shouldn't we? And so did we do this one this direction? I don't know if we did or not. And now we've got this one. Oh, that one looks really good. Oh, that one looks really good. It does look like a fish and bones. That's what it's supposed to look like, and it does. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Actually, what I could do, I could cut them out. That would be interesting if I cut some of the cardboard stuff off of them. I could probably do some different things if I cut some of the cardboard off, maybe. That could be kind of fun if I cut some of the cardboard off and maybe I should do that. See what happens. I mean, because, you know, the thing I'm noticing here is this blends in nicely with the table, actually. So it makes it really hard to even see, which is nice. I like that. I love the white table. I am so happy right now related to, I mean, happy is subjective, but I'm happy right now to have this white table. That for me, this is like making the best of a terrible situation, having this white table here where I'm at. I can't tell you how happy I am to have this white table, because I had a white table of my own at one time, and now I have a white table again, and I am just tickled pink. I was so happy when I came in, when I, you know, the place where I was at and they made me leave. It was kind of like a blessing in disguise, actually, when I think about it. You know, so I'm making the best of a worse situation, but I'm finding the positives. And this white table just, I was so happy. I can't tell you how happy I was. I know it sounds ridiculous. It's just a tiny thing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rascal. But I was so happy to have the white table. I know this sounds so ridiculous, but I was, you know, so this way I don't have to, I'm careful. I'm not going to, I don't want to do anything to accidentally stain the table or anything like that. So if I needed to do like some painting or something, I would put down a cover of some sort, or maybe some brown paper or a cardboard from a box or something to cover it up. But just for this here, let's see. Did I accidentally go off the... I don't think I did. I don't think I did. That there might be a tiny bit of ink. I don't want to get anything on the table though by... but I'm just happy having a white table. You know, for drawing. I mean, and this is why. So I can take a picture of it. Now, when I literally take a picture of it, I kind of... This is what I kind of wish somehow. I don't know if this would work. But see, we can see these little lines here. So when I lift it up, there's kind of a line, a shadow, I guess. Yeah, right. When I do it this direction. Oh, do you see the shadow there like that? Oh, what an angle. Oh, my goodness. So I can take my existing artwork. Look at this. I was just thinking of something out loud here. So if I take my artwork and I angle it, see the perspective that happens when we take and we angle our artwork? And so how would I do this? If I wanted to angle my artwork, so I take a picture, I don't want my hands in the image. How would I do this? What would I do? Can I take a, I don't know, let me see if there's something I can do here to, I'm looking at this, I'm sure I'll think of something, you know, for example, oh, I know probably what I could use. I know absolutely what I can use. Let me see, there's something I've got that is, if I can find it here real quick, I'm going to go over here and look for my thing. It should be in here. Let's see, I hope it. Yep. Oh, this is going to work out perfect. Okay, I knew if I thought I would have something. Okay, I do have something actually. So, okay, it's down as far as it can go. And so, oh yes, this is absolutely going to work. Okay, so I angle my image this direction. So I can angle, okay, I'm just talking out loud here for the purposes of AI and coming up with different angles of my artwork. Do you see that? So look at, so if I think of, okay, this is how I'm thinking out loud here. So if I want to take one picture of my artwork this way, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Do you see where I'm going with this? So it's almost like a visualization of how frame by frame framing works, you know, when you're recording something on video. This is these little things like this, these camera things are perfect. They're like a little easel for painting. And so when you think of perspective, then the perspective, it eventually it just goes away. And so it's sort of like those little flip cards, you know, when you did an animation. This is literally an animation. So I'm just using my cell phone, a tiny cell phone holder here, and I'm going to animate with my cell phone folder. Let's do another creature. Let's do this one. Okay, so this one is, okay, I need to put, let's put you up a little bit higher. Let's see. Yeah, let's put you up a little bit higher. Okay. So I had to move that one up a little bit higher. So we can do the same thing. If we're going to animate, so we're going to start off, I could do the angle. Yeah, we could do the angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, but what I'm moving is actually probably more than what the animation would move. So I did 10 right there. So let's keep moving. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So look at, if I took a picture at this angle, I'm going to get a completely different perspective related to my AI image. Now, how would I do this? So if I want, oh, look at this. Oh, this is really cool too. Look at this perspective. See, I'm making my image move. I'm just making my image move on camera just by moving my cell phone stand. That's cool. Wait a second. Let's move it out a little bit more like this. So I'm making it move just by moving my cell phone stand back and forth. That's cool. Do you see it? Look at how it's moving. And so I'm just moving the stand. So the image itself is really not moving other than me moving it with my hand. That's funny. Okay, so we've got, let's do this one and see what we got. Okay, I want to move it a little bit more like this. Okay, so when I do it like that, I don't get the perspective as much. So when I have it angled though like this, just a slight bit, kind of like a, would I call that, that's not really a 45, yeah, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure that it's a 45-degree angle, but it's angled enough that you get the idea. So if we do it more down like, yeah, 45-degree, there's just a certain angle that you, so let me show you the, yeah, let me show you. This is the angle that I have my little tiny cell phone holder stand. This is the angle I have it. Okay, so then I put this on here, and then so I get kind of a movement of the image. This way is even more too. But there's a point that it makes it just get really, really larger. The perspective actually expands the image out. That is fascinating. Look at that. And it's just me moving my stand back and forth. I was just trying to think of, well, how can I do this? Oh, right, like this maybe. Yeah, like this. I can angle it. Now I'm going to have two little feet down there. It looks like little feet there. That's probably not going to hurt anything. Or what else what could I take? I'm going to take a napkin. I'm going to use a napkin as an example. I'm going to cover this up here like this. And you see that? So I'm going to cover that up. Well, now I have a shadow though. I'm seeing a shadow. How do I get the shadow out of there? I don't want a shadow. Okay. So if I want to, okay, that I didn't want either. Okay. Let's get this up here like this. And we're going to move this over like this. So if I want to take an image at this really odd angle, this might work. Okay, let's see if we can, we need the light. I want to try to get the least amount of shadows. That absolutely would work for an angle there. For the angle and keeping the stand. Nope, I don't want the stand in there. I don't want the stand in there. Okay, that would work. That would work. Okay. So I have this. Yeah, that stands. Yeah, this stand is showing. I don't want this stand in there either, though. But I think that it probably, I don't know. I mean, it's not like that big of a deal because AI can completely remove all of the stands out of it. But, you know, you get the idea. So let's move it back and forth again. So it makes it, the perspective makes it animated. Just me moving it and perspective makes it animated because technically it looks like this. But then perspective puts it like this. So, yeah. Okay, that's all. That's all.